Roots come to life. Visit GregHager.com for tour dates, merchandise, and book the show yourself. Use the code GREG24 for a discount. GregHager.com.
Are you looking for something special or one of a kind? At Bassett Motors, we can help you find exactly what you want.
Come on in and experience how small town hospitality and personal service can make car buying a pleasure.
We know interest rates are important to you. We have multiple lenders to negotiate your lowest payment.
Visit us on Highway 281 in Carrington, North Dakota, and online at BassettMotors.com. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
At OLS Tubs, we focus on quality ingredients to create premium, low-consumption supplements that save producers time and money. Our customers see increased profits through better conception rates, heavier winning weights, and less time and money spent on doctoring herds. OLS formulas focus on highly bioavailable trace minerals and vitamins, as well as key ingredients to improve immune response, colostrum quality, and feed conversion. Our exclusive formula propels your livestock to their full genetic potential. This is why we confidently say OLS Tubs are simply the best.
In the heart of North Dakota lies a beautiful community to live, work, and play. Beulah is surrounded by nature and just minutes from Lake Sakakawea and all that it offers. The possibilities for fun and relaxation here are boundless. It's the perfect place to find a fulfilling career, epic adventures, and a welcoming community. Life here is legendary. Plan your visit today and see what you're missing.
Folks, when it comes to crop protection, you need equipment and technology you can count on. The Apache sprayer accomplishes all of that, but you need something else. A service counter and a group of people that'll help you when you need it. Simpson Farm Enterprises at simpsonfarm.com and High Plains Apache from Mandan. They have the service, they have the equipment. All they need is your confidence. Online, simpsonfarm.com or highplainsapache.com. Welcome back, y'all. It's Trent on the Loos as I'm multitasking, and Jessica doesn't think that men can do this. Apparently, I'm proving myself right. Welcome back, Trent on the Loos. Never mind me, Jessica Paloma. I'm just trying to get my house in order. How are you?
Good morning, Trent. I'm fine. Thank you.
You look better than fine. You're looking fantastic, Jessica. Life must be good.
You know, I'm just trying to keep my head above water, but I became a grandma, so I've been told that I'm just glowing because I'm a new grandma. So that must be it.
I thought you were glowing when you were pregnant. I didn't know you were glowing when you were grandma, too.
I guess it's like defers to, to the grandma, too, a little bit.
I guess you could be a pregnant grandma. Is that why you're glowing?
That's absolutely not it. No.
All right. Did you want to talk about being a grandma, being pregnant, glowing, or South Dakota election integrity? What's your preference?
I'm more in my element when we're talking about elections, so we should go that route.
I totally disagree with you. You're more in your element when you're talking about your family and your grandkids. That's your element. But we are forcing you to talk about South Dakota elections. First of all, even though you've been here, it's nice to meet you. I'm just making fun of Fred. Thank you, Fred. South Dakota canvassing. How did this come about? Just give us a quick synopsis.
South Dakota canvassing started after the Cyber Symposium, and Seth Keschel had come to see. He wanted to, I guess, do a presentation for all of us in South Dakota. So we were on an America's First Audit Chat on Telegram. A bunch of strangers, we didn't know each other, and we put together this event in 4 days for Captain Seth Keschel to come and speak with us. And after that, our group was born and has kind of changed, morphed as people come and go, but God has provided all the right people at just the right time. And so here we are, 3 years later, and we have uncovered more things than we ever thought imaginable. And we started as a bunch of strangers. So.
And I'm going to make the assessment that the naive Jessica Paloma thought, well, we'll just identify the problems in the election program and get them fixed. That's probably
right.
About how simple you thought it would be 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, well, we went out canvassing. We thought, oh, this canvassing deal is going to show us everything that we need, and we'll bring the affidavits to the law enforcement and the auditors and whatnot, and they'll do the right thing. And that definitely was not the case. And so now here we are, at the county level, fighting it out, and filed lawsuits and all kinds of things. So.
Is there any bigger shock, and this is not just a South Dakota issue, although it seems to be the same everywhere. In 3 years of doing this, I'm just going to tell you my biggest shock, and then I'll ask you if it's the same for you. The county clerks have not been cooperative. And I'm saying that in the almost like as if they continue to think that everybody's pointing fingers at them as being part of the problem, when in fact we know the problem is much higher, unintended, higher in the clouds than the county clerks. Is that your biggest shock as well?
Yes, they, take pride in their work, and they do their best to follow the instructions that ES&S gives them and B Pro Total Vote gives them. And so that's complicated enough. And so they apparently had never dug into the nuts and bolts of the election system. And when we started asking questions, they didn't know the answers. So they started asking the machine company for the answers. And of course, that's propaganda and lies to cover up what they've been doing with our elections for the, past couple of decades. So they kind of dug themselves a hole. And instead of doing the right thing and reversing their opinion because they are, ethically bound to tell the truth, they are, digging in their heels instead. And so, these associations, the NGOs, the associations that they belong to also have a lot to do with this.
I want to go back just a step because people often just talk about the machines, but you mentioned the brand of machine that you have in South Dakota, North Dakota, and Nebraska, our three states have. And that's the machine itself by ES&S. The Total Vote / B Pro that you mentioned is the software systems that make the machines work. And I just wanted to walk through that so that people have a very clear vision of how this all comes together.
Okay, so the ES&S is the tabulators that our ballots go through that supposedly counts them. And so the ballots are printed by ES&S, the machines and the flash drives are programmed by ES&S, and so the counts are all produced by ES&S with no access to the audit trail or the source code for the machines. So that's something separate. Then our county clerks in your state and my state, and North Dakota, I believe, take those results from the machines and enter it. They go to an internet connected computer and log on to the internet and type in the results or upload them on a flash drive to the Total Vote system. And so the Total Vote system was built by B Pro out of Pierre, South Dakota, which is now owned by No Inc. out of St. Louis, Missouri. And that is where all the magic happens in the cloud. So all of our data is on the Microsoft cloud, and our election night reporting goes through the Microsoft cloud, which now 3 years later, we know is definitely not secured and is putting all of our personal identifiable information at risk, along with the election night results reporting is easily manipulated when it's in the cloud like that.
Okay, so I had a conversation with the county sheriff, sat down conversation with the county sheriff last week, and doesn't matter what county, it was in one of those three states you mentioned. And he made the statement immediately, but Trent, I've seen the machine, talking about the ES&S machine, tabulator machine. It's not connected to the internet. I said, yes, but Sheriff, what happens? Tell me if I'm wrong, Sheriff. What they do is they have the tabulating machine. They were given a jump drive. The tabulator puts the information on the jump drive, and then they carry it over to another state issued. And we're going to talk in the second segment about where that money comes from, the state issued tabulators and laptops. They put the jump drive in the laptop, and then they upload it to the cloud, send it to the Secretary of State, and then the data comes back. He said, yeah, that's exactly what happens in my county. I've been there. I went to inspect all of this. I said, do they have a record of the data that was submitted to the cloud the Microsoft Azure cloud before it goes to the Secretary of State's office and comes back. Well, I'm sure they do. I said, have you seen it? Because it seems to me that would be as simple as check the data before it's sent versus cross-referencing when it comes back. Is it that simple?
Yeah, so it depends what state you're in. In South Dakota, that's what they do, is have a printout. They supposedly type it in, and depends again what county you're in and what equipment they have. And then they upload it to the Secretary of State, and then they check their paper copy against what is reported at the Secretary of State. New Mexico, that uses that same system, their data is fed all through the cloud, and the results go up to the Secretary of State, come up with a magic number and get fed back down to the county clerks. That's completely illegal. And that is seriously at risk of manipulation. You could never trust those results at all. So it depends what state you're in, what processes they use, but it's very complicated, and there's more than one way to run an algorithm. So it takes quite a bit of time to explain it, but an algorithm can be run in those machines by its programming, by it having a modem in it and talking to the internet or the cellular connection on election night, or an algorithm could be on those flash drives, which would flip those votes when they plug that flash drive into that tabulator. On the other hand, the magic can happen in the cloud, and that's when we're talking about these voter rolls being at risk. All of the dead weight on the voter rolls and the fake voters on there can be manipulated so that those ballots are requested and returned and voted, so the paper trail matches on that end, but they're not real people or real voters requesting and returning those. So whoever has access to those voter rolls can run analysis on them, know how many votes they need to achieve a desired result, and that's how the paper trail matches that way. So there's those couple of methods of fraud and manipulation that run algorithms. So one end, the paper trail won't match. On the other side, it would match. It's complicated.
And to that point, which is going to lead us into the second segment, you have a county where the Secretary of State, the county clerk did not notice that there were 1,200 votes from one address. That is one big house.
Right. Actually, it's just a normal house, but
there's nothing normal in today's world. Jessica Poloma, South Dakota Canvassing, Trent on the Loose. We're back with more and talk about how your taxpayer dollars have funded all of this machine activity when we get back with more after this.
People get sick for two reasons and two reasons only. Your body's missing something that it needs, or it's exposed to something that it doesn't need. So if you supplement what the body's missing, the body fixes itself. If you remove from the body toxins that are interfering with the body's doing what it's normally designed to do, then the body heals itself. It's really that simple.
NO2U, that's nitric oxide, NO, number 2, letter U.com, and you put Trent as coupon code, you don't pay any shipping.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson is a family-owned dealer with expert staff that know their products front to back. We stock over 150 units of all types and can custom order a trailer with the unique features and capabilities you require for brands you can trust. Our experienced service team is the reason we're also the best place to have your trailer customized or repaired. Count on Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson to keep you hauling.
Hello and welcome to the MHA Interpretive Center. It's the perfect stop along the Lewis and Clark Trail and the cultural hub of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation. Nestled along the shores of Lake Sagagawea in Newtown, North Dakota, 1 mile west of the Four Bears Casino. You can enjoy amphitheater performances, art exhibitions, and educational workshops utilizing our living cultural center. Enjoy some coffee, browse our gift shop, and learn about the original people of this land. Learn more at mhanation.com/interpretive center.
Welcome back. Trent on the Loos. Jessica, she's not on the loose. She's been hunkered down in a cubicle for 3 years trying to find the truth. So let's dig a little deeper into what we referenced just before the break. Lawrence County, South Dakota, you had some true champions of the representative republic who found out there was one address that had 1,200 votes from that one address. You want to tell me more?
Well, if you're speaking about the campground, I believe that's probably what. Yeah, I think that's probably
KOA
what you're talking about.
campgrounds, and it's in Bellefouche, I think.
Yep. So it's got I think a Spearfish address. It's 41 West Highway 14 or something like that. Yes, there's a campground that offers a mail forwarding service too, and it's a commercial address. So on these mail forwarding services where a lot of these votes are coming from, that should not be allowed in South Dakota. We have pulled these zoning ordinances from the counties and the cities on these properties. And so they're not allowed to have, 1,200 people living at this address. So that's in violation of our registration laws in South Dakota. They will not, the county auditors will not agree with us on that, but if you read the law, that's what it says. And it's not open year round. So there's a lot of problems with people claiming that as their address. So when they're filling out the voter registration form and signing under penalty of perjury that they actually live there, which is what our residency law says, that's perjury. So that's voter registration fraud going on. And we have, tens of thousands of those on our voter rolls currently.
Tell us about the Election Assistance Commission.
Okay, well, the United States Election Assistance Commission, or the EAC, was created by HAVA in 2002, I believe, and started in 2005. So HAVA was the Help America Vote Act, which is, again, the federal government getting involved in local elections. So the NVRA and HAVA weren't good for local control, state-run elections, which is the way they're supposed to be. And then the state legislature has authority over the time, place, and manner of your state-run elections. Well, HAVA was created after the Hanging Chads incident in Florida, and in order to usher in electronic tabulating machines for our elections. So if I know you are big on this landowner issue, Trent, with the property rights and the boondoggle with the federal credits, which is basically a money laundering operation of our tax dollars going into these tax credits in order to make an industry run that, otherwise wouldn't. That is exactly the same thing that's happening with our election apparatus. Our election apparatus is completely run by federal funds. It's bribes going to the local jurisdictions to get them to use electronic machines that they couldn't otherwise afford to use in our elections. So South Dakota has received $27 million of federal funds for our elections to give us these machines. And to this date, we still do not have every county with the software that they need to actually be able to audit the machines and to view the audit trail or the per ballot record of how the tabulator counted each of these votes in our tabulators. So It's ridiculous. It's a scam. And now a lot of this is being directed to cybersecurity. So South Dakota, for instance, after telling us for 3 years, our machines are not connected to the internet, nothing is connected to the internet. Now we have the Secretary of State's office hiring a kid to have the cybersecurity position to protect our elections. So it's completely ridiculous. They're contradicting themselves that we need to have a cybersecurity person dedicated to our elections when nothing's connected to the internet. So
it's almost like every Secretary of
silly.
State, including ours, Bob Evenden, and everybody in the system just repeats a standard line like they've been programmed. The machines are not connected to the internet. Well, time out, Bob. How do we transfer the data from the county to the Secretary of State's office? Do we send that with a carrier pigeon, or, oh no, that comes off the internet? Okay, did you just hear yourself talk?
Yeah, right. Well, and the people that are the experts that know about these machines, they are all built per the manuals from ES&S to have internet capability in multiple ways. Right? Not just one, but multiple ways that they can connect to the internet. And if you listen to Sean Smith, he states that all of this comes from China. So our motherboards come from China, the computer chips come from China, and nothing leaves China without, the permission of the CCP.
But Jessica, they are assembled in Nebraska. How dare you implicate China?
Yeah, Chris Willashin, the VP of ES&S, will tell you our supply chain is secure, but never mind that our parts come from China.
So in the last 3 minutes here, we've done a lot of review. People that are finally saying, okay, I got to do something and be a part of this. What do you suggest that we the peasants out here in the country that just want a fair election, what do you suggest we do?
Well, one, get off the couch right now. Stand up and go somewhere and do something. The battle isn't happening on social media. It's not happening by, at coffee talk, like complaining with your friends. You have to go to the county commission meetings. You got to go to your county auditor's office. You got to get involved and do something. Get involved with your election group in your community and do something, because nothing's going to change unless we do something. And the Patriots in South Dakota are rising. We now have 35 counties, in some way carrying petitions to have a special election to get rid of the ES&S tabulating machines. This battle has come to a head in the last 2 days of the state legislature in South Dakota. They hog-housed Casey Crabtree, hog-housed a bill to quickly be able to stop, and they made it, an emergency clause on it so that they can immediately interfere in the county election so that this couldn't happen. And thankfully that died with a tie vote on the House floor, 35-35. But now we have on the county level, the county state's attorneys are bringing forth an ordinance to now give the county commission authority to reject these petitions, because one, they were trying to make a state law to give the county commissions authority to throw out the petitions. Now they're trying to do a county ordinance to give them the authority to throw out the petitions. Because why? They don't have the authority to throw out the petitions. The state law says the board shall enact the proposed ordinance and shall submit it to a vote of the voters in the manner prescribed, blah, blah, blah. So that's it. They shall refer it to a vote of the voters. And Lawrence County on Tuesday voted 5-0 to throw out the petition at the advisement of Sarah Frankenstein, the election expert lawyer in South Dakota, and their state's attorney. So their state's attorney and this election expert lawyer advised them to break the law to stop these people with their petitions. So the more we do, the more conflict there is, the more exposure there is about who these people really are, and the great lengths that they will go to strip your constitutional rights from you and to petition your government, and also, for a free and fair election. So at some point, that pressure is going to make cracks and something's got to give. And I can guarantee you, it is not going to be the Patriots in South Dakota.
Resilience will always win the day. And at the end of the day, there's a simple question. Why would anybody, whether it be the elected county commissioner, the secretary of state, the attorney for the state, or the president of the United States, why would anybody want to refuse a verification to make sure that the person who has been selected was actually elected? It's unbelievable, but to me, the South Dakota continues to be the crux of everything in terms of eroding local control. But fortunately, we do have true patriots like Jessica Polma, everybody at South Dakota Canvassing, and the folks in the counties all around the state. We're saying we're going to get to the bottom of this. Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks, Trent.
Keep glowing.
I'll try.
Trent on the Loos. God bless the veterans and the farmers who feed them.
Look, so see these cows here, Trent?
Hello, everyone. I'm Trent Loos. Welcome to another Live Across the Pond with my pontification partner, Andrew Henderson. Good morning, UK. I can't get used to that.
Well, you've only got a week and a half to go, but good morning, USA. It's beautiful here today. And yeah, spring is in the air. That's all I'll say today. That's what the water is still here. Is that somebody posted a funny joke this morning, which I think I'll reveal to you all. It said, make sure you remember to put your clocks back 1 hour of rain on the 31st of March, because we've had so much rain. So I think that's quite funny, because people are really starting to notice that we've got water everywhere. It's just unbelievable.
I just guess I'll never understand that UK humor. I find no funniness in that.
Well, you get 1 hour's less of rain. It's quite funny that we're talking in those terms.
Wait a minute. You change your clocks on April Fool's Day?
No, the 31st.
Oh,
29th,
okay.
29th. I think it's the 29th. I can't remember the day. It's the 29th. But April Fool's Day, no, we don't do it then. That'd be foolish, wouldn't it?
Well, that would be. Now that UK humor I get. So, we had March come in like a lamb, which means it's going to leave like a lion. And secondly, we are going to have major snow days ahead of us. Everybody has this false notion that spring is here. It's not. We have plenty of winter coming.
The backroom boy this morning has already told me that you're bracing yourselves in North Dakota. I don't know where you are at the moment, but in North Dakota, they're bracing themselves for maybe 10 inches of snow or 80 degrees, depending on which way the wind blows. Yeah. How about that?
So to answer your question, I'm in York, Nebraska. Last night, the Free Soul Coalition had a fantastic meeting, great crowd. And I'm pretty sure I somehow screwed up the recording. I'm not sure anybody will be able to ever see it. But I had the opportunity, Andrew, yesterday afternoon to speak to about 100 students, 4 different classes at York High School. And I got into an interesting discussion because I brought up subsidies. And almost everybody in that group, 4 different groups, thought that subsidies were a good thing. And then one young lady said, I don't even know what a subsidy is. So I had to walk through that. And then I walked through the fact that at the current debt ratio of the United States versus the number of people, you do the math, and every single one of these students, including myself, owes $105,000 to the federal government. And all of a sudden, when I put the subsidy standpoint and the version of what subsidies really are in their mind at this is what you owe the federal government or your kids are going to owe, we had a different discussion.
But nobody ever talked to them about subsidies.
And this morning you're banned from that school, no doubt, by the people that run that school board.
No, not at all. We had a
Well,
fantastic day in the school, and we had a fantastic meeting last night. In fact, I'll be back here at York High School very soon, I'm sure.
Well, I hope you are, because that doesn't fit the narrative. You know it doesn't. I mean, at the end of the day, I actually stopped somebody in the. Funny you should bring this up. I stopped somebody called Mark who lives in our village who was driving his his electric car, and I said to him, "Do you really believe in this?" And he went, "No." Oh, why have you bought it? Because I get huge tax benefits from my company for having an electric car rather than a diesel or a petrol car. This is so I said, explain that to me, and he explained it to me, and it was worth something like £4,000 a year to him. They are subsidizing individual people. It's not, it's got to a point where the government are subsidizing people through every which way they can, whether it's energy in your home, whether it's your car. This is happening everywhere. It's all about control, and it needs to stop pretty quickly, because there's a bill to pay at the end of it. That's the thing. Your 8 cents or 9 cents per kilowatt hour, all of these other types of energy are costing between 25 and 35 cents per kilowatt hour, because the Bill Gates, the Jeff Bezos, and the politicians are taking their cut from you. That's what it is. And it is. I'm beginning to think it's the biggest criminal case ever. And it's happening worldwide by these globalist politicians finding a way to steal from everybody that they're supposed to represent. It's unbelievable when you think about it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, it's a transfer of wealth. And the discussion that generated more dialogue than anything I've done on Roll Rot ever in history was Susan Bradford last week, who said that the people who you just named, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, you didn't name him, and Jeff Bezos, they are just placeholders. They've been given this wealth basically through a money laundering scheme to hold this wealth to somebody else. They lost that. And that's unbelievable. And back to the UK situation, did you see the report I sent to you on maybe Friday? There was a study from the United Kingdom that said electric cars contribute 1,850 times more pollutants to the atmosphere than a gas or petrol car.
I did. I just sadly, people look away. Trent, all this stuff that you send me, still there are people that look away. They're embarrassed by their naivety. It doesn't resonate the way it should. It's really quite scary how the mindset is in the average person in the street, because they look away because they go, oh, have I fallen for that as well? Have I fallen for the jabs? Have I fallen for that? Have I fallen for the climate scam? Even to today, I mean, I know you don't like me referring to this. Yesterday, right, the Sun newspaper released a video or a clip or whatever you want to call it of our Princess Catherine, who's gone missing, with her husband William, supposedly coming out of a farm shop. Now, it turns out that if you see it, and it's all over the internet, it's just far enough for us not to make out whether it really is her. And it's taken by what seems to be her own internal video company. And why would they be standing behind the car? And why wouldn't somebody walk over to her and say, hey, let's get a closer shot of you? It's all the same cons going on. They're serious as well. This is not, because it's a royal family doesn't mean to say it's not serious. It is. It's all part of the gaslighting that's happening day in, day out to all of us.
No, I mean, I got nothing to add to that other than I agree. But the electric car, I did not know it weighs 30% more than a gas-powered car. 30% more. Right?
Yeah.
In a time when we're trying to eliminate the weight of a vehicle driving down the road, The electric car weighs 30% more than a gas-powered car. Let that sink in.
So what would that mean in terms of? I didn't read the whole article, Trent, because I just knew that'd obviously have repercussions.
You just read the title.
No, I skimmed it, but I already sort of knew. But when you say it's 30% more weight, then you start looking at all the other things that mean that then tells you that cars are going to be causing more potholes in the roads, which is going to cause more maintenance, more fuel, because that's all about tar and all those things. I mean, actually, they're selling us. We're like living in the Willy Wonka factory. They're selling us lies. That's what it is.
Apparently, I'm going to have to watch this movie because every week you bring this movie up.
Well, I don't know whether I can tolerate you telling me what you think of that movie once you've seen it, because it's so creepily woke. It's unbelievable.
Well,
it's so woke.
Made?
Very recently, and it's got some very big stars in it. You'll see.
Oh, I thought it was way old.
No, it's a new movie called Wonka, and it drives you bonkers. It's when Willy Wonka. It's meant to be. It's a musical, obviously, but it's meant to be before Willy Wonka made the factory, before the original Willy Wonka. So it's him as a young boy and how he learned his recipes from his mother. But it actually seeks, in my opinion, to devalue the whole family. It's disgusting. It's that
And you
bad.
watched it because your daughter said, "Dad, you got to watch this."
Yeah, because the cinematography and the some of the songs were excellent, but the actual acting and the storyline, it made me gag because it was so woke. It was just you'd have to see it. It's woke.
Yeah, I don't.
With
I
a
don't
capital
plan to
K.
actually invest that time. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to be busy building my
wife,
electric car.
Claire actually saw it as well, which was really pleasing. She was told it was going to be a marvelous experience, and she didn't find it a marvelous experience either. So that's good.
Live across the pond. Trent, Loos, Andrew Henderson. We're back with more after this.
And I want to point out that you so eloquently said public lands, rancher, not federal lands, because it's the public that owns 1/3 of the United States, not the federal government. We are the federal government.
Right. Those groups, they want to close off access to land, and we're in favor of keeping it open to everyone. And so maybe it's to the public's benefit to keep the rancher on the landscape. And so they want to make sure that it's open, and so do we. And so I think we have common friends in that arena.
Hello and welcome to the MHA Interpretive Center. It's the perfect stop along the Lewis and Clark Trail and the cultural hub of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation. Nestled along the shores of Lake Sagagawea in Newtown, North Dakota, 1 mile west of the Four Bears Casino. You can enjoy amphitheater performances, art exhibitions, and educational workshops utilizing our living cultural center. Enjoy some coffee, browse our gift shop, and learn about the original people of this land. Learn more at mhanation.com/interpretive center.
Trent Loos here for my friend Greg Hager. Do you know why he has been named the Entertainer of the Year? It's because he writes his own stuff. It's because what he writes and performs and entertains will touch you in a way like very few songwriters can touch you. His country, his Christian roots come to life. Visit greghager.com for tour dates, merchandise, and book the show yourself. Use the code GREG24 for a discount. greghager.com.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson is a family-owned dealer with expert staff that know their products front to back. We stock over 150 units of all types and can custom order a trailer with the unique features and capabilities you require for brands you can trust. Our experienced service team is the reason we're also the best place to have your trailer customized or repaired. Count on Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson to keep you hauling.
Are you looking for something special or one of a kind? At Bassett Motors, we can help you find exactly what you want.
Come on in and experience how small town hospitality and personal service can make car buying a pleasure.
We know interest rates are important to you. We have multiple lenders to negotiate your lowest payment.
Visit us on Highway 281 in Carrington, North Dakota, and online at BassettMotors.com. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Folks, when it comes to crop protection, you need equipment and technology you can count on. The Apache sprayer accomplishes all of that, but you need something else. A service counter and a group of people that'll help you when you need it. Simpson Farm Enterprises at simpsonfarm.com and High Plains Apache from Mandan. They have the service, they have the equipment. All they need is your confidence. Online, simpsonfarm.com or highplainsapache.com.
Look, so see these cows here, Trent?
Welcome back, Trent, Loos, Andrew Henderson, and Andrew, I should sound better now. I got a subsidy during the break, which allowed me to up my game.
Well, I thought we were listening to the Facebook Trent Loos for a while. I thought, he's in this guy's in the gutter or below. You sounded like you were in the U bend of a latrine. Is that right? Latrine is that the right connotation for America?
No.
Oh, right.
In a tree?
Latrine?
Latrine.
Used to call,
latrine.
Did you used to call that? Was that a toilet or was that somewhere you go for a pee-pee?
We could go with the latrine if you want to. I thought you said in a tree. No, monkeys are in a tree, not me.
Monkeys are in a tree. Anyway, you sound great now. And I think you'll be able to put whatever point you want to over. And you know, the Willy Wonka thing, tell you, that encapsulates everywhere where we are at this time in our lives with all this gross. And I was hearing yesterday a story about Hollywood investing in a media company that was out there basically peddling lies and working on behalf of the Democrat Party. That raised its ugly head yesterday. And it had a name that connotated directly, and I'll have to get you, I'll find it out for you, but it had a name that connotated directly with Hollywood. So there you go. It was that was something that I was reading about yesterday, that they are so entrenched in their belief of killing off the family unit that they're actually investing in media to give you the argument that the nuclear family is not the way forward.
So why would anybody invest in trying to destroy the family unit?
I've no idea. Except to say that these people are allegedly involved in child trafficking, and they're allegedly involved in very egregious operations around slavery and human body parts. So, I mean, that sounds very, very. I know it sounds completely conspiracy theory orientated, but I think there's been enough evidence recently to suggest that these things are real, and that Hollywood's part of that.
Oh, I don't doubt it one bit, but I'm still just marveling at the fact that someone can invest money and spend any amount of time in trying to destroy a family unit, quite frankly, that brought them about.
I don't get it either. But of course, in order for their prey to be made available, I suppose their thought process is you need to destroy the family unit and make people want to break away from that.
Well, destroying the
I don't
family
have
unit
those
was
thoughts.
the whole concept behind the Marxism and the Communist Manifesto.
Well, look,
but
you've only got to look at what's happening with fentanyl over your border in the south, and you look at the effects that has on families, and you also understand that millions of people are bringing children in order to get safe passage into America. No, there's no proof required of whether those are actually their children, and it's pretty obvious that there's no real vetting of the people that take the children once they're here. So you don't need to be, a genius to work out that open border policy that you currently have from your current administration is actually doing exactly what we've just described. It's destroying the family unit. That's what it does.
So it's always good to verify what you're hearing, but Hank Vogler verified. Hank Vogler, my friend from Nevada, who employs 16 H2A workers from Peru and Chile. And he said last week that his guys have confirmed, they've talked to people at home, and they've confirmed that they've emptied the jails, and the convicts in Chile and Peru have been sent to the U.S.
Well, you know what? If you were going to reduce the burden on your people and rid your country of Ecuador, Peru, all around there, of the really worst in your society, and some idiot in the White House was saying, "Come here, we need you here in order to win an election, and we'll pay you, and we'll free you from jail." I can see that every door would be open to achieve that. I suspect if somebody was running this country and could get rid of every criminal in this country to another country, they'd do it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, from a standpoint of an economic burden, it makes total sense. But I won't let you get away with the fact that you say it's just some idiot in the White House, because we have checks and balances in 3 branches of government, and it's a failure on behalf of all 3, not just the executive branch.
I would agree with that, except, and this is where I do take issue with you. If you actually look at what's happening, the reason it's gone up, I'm going to say 4-fold since 2020, is because the executive orders that this particular president has issued have allowed this to happen. The stay in Mexico executive order was cancelled. There's various things that were done to make this easier, which weren't voted on by Congress or the House of Representatives. That's what I understand anyway. And, to be fair, the House of Representatives have been, whether you believe it or not, they've been calling this out for the last 2.5 years.
No, they haven't. No, they could stop it.
Well, they have.
These executive orders are unconstitutional, and all they need to do is say, no, you cannot oversee your executive power. Period. They're letting
So how
it
can
happen.
they do that?
They're
Because,
giving lip service to nothing.
No, hang on. It wouldn't be ratified by Congress, would it? It wouldn't. They've got one more vote. Well,
no, I don't know that. I know I do not know that. They have one more vote with an R behind their name, but they've allowed all this obese spending to go beyond what they supposedly stand for.
No. There's one more Democrat in the Congress, so they'll never get whatever they vote through into law. That's the truth. It's actually Kamala Harris. She has the deciding vote.
She does. Okay, that's not the House of Representatives.
No, but whatever they put through, which they have, which
that's
is
the
to
Senate.
say,
You're talking about the Senate.
The Senate, whatever the House says, the Senate has blocked. That's what's happened.
It doesn't matter. They need to stand up for what the Constitution says they're supposed to do as elected officials, and they're not doing it. I blame every single one of them.
They don't, because the people that are in the Democrat Party don't want what you want. They want.
No, clearly the people who say they're in the Republican Party don't want it either, because they could stop it. They choose not to.
How could they stop it, Trent? They haven't got a majority.
It doesn't matter. You are, if you're an effective lawmaker, you are absolutely making a difference on both sides of the aisle. There's no difference between the people who have a D and an R behind their name. They're all in defiance of what the Constitution of the United States says, give the power to the people, and the people are speaking loudly. They're simply not following through on it. They need to be replaced.
Oh, well, I think they are going to be, aren't they, at the ballot box?
No, I don't believe that because we haven't changed anything in the elections.
Okay. I'm under the impression that that's not strictly true, but we'll see.
That's
We'll see
absolutely true. It's no change whatsoever.
Well, 307 laws have been changed in 50 states, I understand.
No, that's that's a lie. There's nothing that has happened that has changed the ability for the algorithms to determine the outcome of the election. In fact, South Dakota is trying to be a leader in trying to make that happen. And tomorrow, on Wednesday, I am told that there's a county in South Dakota that's going to move to a hand count in their vote. And there's going to be a person from the state capitol going to show up and say, no, we're not going to be able to do that. And there's a precedent in the state of the capital telling people in the county, you can't do what you want to do with elections. We're going to tell you what to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you think that the Democrats will win again, even if they?
No, that's not what I said. What I think is there will be a selection, not an election. And it doesn't matter whether you have a D or an R. The people who they want to win will win.
I don't think you're right this time, but we'll see.
Okay. So
anyway,
in other news, I don't really have time to do this, but I am actually very intrigued at the amount of attention that Tyson Foods is getting with two things. Number one, they're shutting down the pork plant at Perry, Iowa. And number two, they are pursuing
You
hiring.
showed me that. By the way, you showed me that plant. We went right next to it, didn't we? We did.
No, we did not. We were not
I'm
close
sure
to.
we did.
No, well, I'm sure we were not in Iowa at any point in time in our trip.
Okay.
But here's the deal. In 2014, I started suggesting that livestock producers not sell any animals to Tyson because I could see that they're headed down this path of eliminating control for the farmer, period. And if we're going to stop this, now the consumer has to stop buying products from Tyson. But the problem is, you go looking for the Tyson label, we have a graph that shows even in the UK, look, these are all the Tyson brands, Hillshire Farms, IBP, Wright Bacon, Sara Lee, Jimmy Dean, all of these. And one of those is even based in the UK. We have to stop buying from the people who do not share our values. And the real problem is it's only one of the two of the four largest packers that are domestically owned. We got to go. We came to this. Andrew Henderson, Trent Loos, live across the pond, regaining control for the farmer. I don't know where Andrew went. He's back. We'll see you tomorrow right here.
I'm back.
On Wednesday.
At OLS Tubs, we focus on quality ingredients to create premium, low-consumption supplements that save producers time and money. Our customers see increased profits through better conception rates, heavier winning weights, and less time and money spent on doctoring herds. OLS formulas focus on highly bioavailable trace minerals and vitamins, as well as key ingredients to improve immune response, colostrum quality, and feed conversion. Our exclusive formula propels your livestock to their full genetic potential. This is why we confidently say OLS Tubs are simply the best.
People get sick for two reasons and two reasons only. Your body's missing something that it needs, or it's exposed to something that it doesn't need. So if you supplement what the body's missing, the body fixes itself. If you remove from the body toxins that are interfering with the body's doing what it's normally designed to do, then the body heals itself. It's really that simple.
NO2U, that's nitric oxide, NO, number 2, letter U.com, and you put Trent as coupon code, you don't pay any shipping.
In the heart of North Dakota lies a beautiful community to live, work, and play. Beulah is surrounded by nature and just minutes from Lake Sakakawea and all that it offers. The possibilities for fun and relaxation here are boundless. It's the perfect place to find a fulfilling career, epic adventures, and a welcoming community. Life here is legendary. Plan your visit today and see what you're missing.
Open Range is going to be like a digital magazine, I call it. We're going to be looking at a variety of subjects from agriculture, energy, sports, art, politics, of course, and we will be talking about a lot of subjects, having a lot of guests on, and I'm going to have a variety of co-hosts. One of them is Memo Barreto, Gail Wetzel, Gene Grainer, Dustin Goverlau, and Daryl Lease. Welcome to Open Range, weeknights at 9 p.m. Central Time on Beck TV.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the Loos. Join me on the trip and unearth the stories on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations of American citizens like our forefathers did.